Okay, so welcome to the first C++ tutorial. In these tutorials, I'll be using the compiler of Microsoft Visual Studio C++ Professional Edition. You can get the free version of that, which is the Express Edition. There's also another free C++ compiler called DevShare C++. All the two links to those two softwares are both in my description box. So let's start coding without further ado. So basically, this is saying include the input-output stream library. We'll discuss in a sec. And int main basically says it signifies the main part of the program where everything between these two brackets will be executed. Return 0 simply says if the program executes successfully, return a 0 in order to denote that. So let's just say hello, and we'll include another library called kunio.h. I'll explain what these two things mean in a second. So let's run our program and see what happens. So we get hello, so we'll close the program. And notice we get native has executed with code 0, which is what we said if it was successfully executed. So basically this stands for get char. So if we take this out, look what happens. Program flashes up and closes by itself very quickly. So this basically says wait for keyboard input from the user. So just hit a key and press enter for the program to close. Other people usually use system pause. That's generally not recommended and seen as bad coding practice. So just use this instead, but remember to include this header file. So these header files basically allow us to use functions such as these two in our program. So we also notice we have std : it will be a hassle to keep using that in front of every cout statement. So in order for us not to use that, we can simply use using namespace std, and basically that's the same compiler for every cout statement and blah blah blah. Just generate std : before every cout statement for us. So now we can just simply say cout, and it will still work perfectly there. We should say cout press any key to exit the program. And now quickly notice here that the two lines will be next to each other, and we don't want that. So we use a function called endLine, and now they'll be on different lines. Awesome. We can also use \n for that. It's the equivalent of endl, but endl's faster type, that's why I use it. So lastly, cout stands for character output. We have cout there. So without further ado, let's get started with our real program. So a variable is declared with its name, type, and then name. So we'll declare int first number. So this is declaring a variable called first number by the type integer. Now variables cannot have numbers at the start of their names. So we'll go over those things in our next lesson when we look at fundamental data types and variables. But for now, we'll just go along with this. So we have int first number. In order to declare a second variable, we can say int second number. But you'll notice that these two are of the same type. So we can simply say second number like such, because remember we need a type and then the name of the variable. So we have the type here. So then everything on the right hand side can simply be the type. So we have a comment to differentiate the different variables. So here we have two variables, first number and second number. So let's say cout, please enter the first number. And notice we're using double quotes here as well. So we have cin first number, so that stands for character input. And basically that's saying allow the user to enter characters, and whatever characters they enter, assign that to the variable first number. So then we say please enter the second number. So c second number. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment box and I'll definitely answer you guys. So now we have the two numbers, so then the average will be the first number plus the second number divided by 2. So let's do this 5 and let's say 7. Average will be, oh, we forgot the output average. We just assign the average, so the average is average, and we use end-al there. Okay, now we outputted the average, which we forgot to do. So average is 6, awesome. But notice if we put in some interesting numbers like 5 and 6, which should equal 5.5, we're going to get 5. So the reason for this is because an integer can only hold whole numbers. So we got 5.5, so it just rounds it down to 5. So in order to counter this, we can use a float or double. There are many, types, variable types that can hold decimal numbers, but for our basic programs we can use float or double. We'll go over those types next lesson, as I said, when we study the fundamental data types of C++. So let's just execute this program. So let's say 567 and 34.45, and we get a very concise answer, 300.725. So that's our program. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you have any questions at all, just leave them in the comment box. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next lesson. Thanks.